for anything that happens to you is the most powerful defense mechanism that we have. It is the one attitude which makes life best for us and those around us. The only people who will be offended by our happiness are the ones who want to make us unhappy. And the only way we can really evade them and bring them to justice is to simply not be unhappy. That will make them miserable. But they have no right to try to make us miserable. Relaxation is no energy wasted brooding or mooding on anything. Oh, this is so very good. Well, we have people come in to us quite frequently with many problems of one kind or another. We had one in for a while years ago at about a 15-year record for self-destruction. This individual had gone through an unpleasant emotional experience. They had lost their home, according to their point of view at least, through the horrible scheming of another person. Having gone through this experience, which subjectively I suspect they richly deserved, because they were born home spoilers themselves, this individual settled down to 15 years of self-pity. All the trimmings were present. One was extravagance. Having secured a fairly substantial alimony, the person attempted to get out of their difficulty by spending money. They also then discovered that by spending enough money they could have a lot of hangers-on who despised them but would still hang around to get their share of the small change. This went on for years. There was never at any time any constructive effort to cope with this situation, and after a length of several years, alcoholism set in. The individual decided to try to drink themselves to death, all the time blaming this other person for all of this misfortune, blaming the other person for the fact that the one who was or believed themselves to be aggrieved had no strength of character to meet a problem with. It went on and on and on until the person became mentally ill. And as most of these stories begin with self-pity, this one also ended in a mental institution. This person was not really in a bad way. They were talented, but they wouldn't use their talents. They had some fair attractiveness, but they refused to be attractive. They had very good education, but they would make no use of it. The only thing they could do was to brood upon the fact that they had lost somebody's affection. Well, it's too bad. But it certainly is no excuse for going into a complete rot as a result. I talked to this person on a number of occasions. They admitted they were wrong, but they couldn't do anything about it. They felt like falling to pieces, so they fell apart. This has been Western man's solution to his problem for ages. It's just keep on doing whatever he felt like doing. If he felt like conquering the world, we had a Caesar, an Alexander, a Napoleon, or a Hitler. These people did as they pleased, regardless of who it hurt or how much. And we have assumed that this is the only way to get along in this world. And as long as we have this attitude, I'm afraid internationally and nationally we're going to be in serious trouble. This is not the answer. The answer that every individual must face is the answer of making out of himself a powerful, constructive force for the leadership of his own life. But we cannot keep on going as we are now without ultimately deteriorating to a dangerous degree. We have to take hold of these situations. Zen begins with self-discipline. Zen takes the attitude that there is never one moment in the life of the individual when he is not in control of himself if he wants to be. There is never one time in an individual's life when he cannot help self-pity. There is never one moment in his existence while he has to be selfish. There is not one moment when he has to be envious, or has to hate, or has to gossip. These are not necessary things. They are simply weaknesses. The individual who cannot get over gossiping may just as well admit that he has an incurable habit, the same as the alcoholic has one. And like the alcoholic, there's never a moment when he can't get over it, but he doesn't know it, or won't believe it, or won't try. If we are going to use what energies we have to unfold our lives and our world, we've got to begin to build these patterns of usage by which energy is directed constantly toward the end which we really want to attain. One way I think that would always help everyone in connection with these problems is to set aside a few minutes every day for a meeting with the steering committee. And that steering committee is yourself. You have over 40 faculties within you, which bring in various testimonies, mostly conflicting, like the members of a hopeless board of directors. I believe it was Albert Hubbard that said on one occasion, a board of directors is a group of people that takes 10 times as long to accomplish anything as one person would take to do it alone. But that's one of our problems. We have all these faculties within our own natures. Each of these faculties has its voice. We must have a Senate. We must have a House of Representatives or a cabinet or a government. But we must settle down once, maybe every day, for a few minutes to take care of some pressing legislations that are in great need of being accomplished. Every day we have a right to sit down and quietly survey ourselves. Find out what at the moment is giving us trouble. When we think of other people, always bear in mind that it is not other people that are causing trouble. It is our inability to cope with other people that causes trouble. If we are having difficulty with someone, what is the attitude that would cure that difficulty? Now, we don't think of compromise. We don't think of the individual agreeing with someone who is wrong. What is the correct attitude with which to meet the challenge, perhaps of a basic misunderstanding? Think it through. Quietly, peacefully, and with relaxation of mind and emotions, examine the facts. The moment you become fact-conscious, most of your problems will dissolve. Emotion and thought are fact destroyers. It's strange to think of thoughts as destroyers of truths, but they are. Our thoughts become merely eye servants of our own opinions. What we call a thought is nothing but an opinion used to defend some attitude of our own. Get away from this. There is a simple answer to everything. Find it. There is a simple, natural